Hey YouTube, ever one of those days? I'm having one today. Right down to having a bit of a rant and eventually getting a video done, and then realising that the microphone decided it didn't want to work today. I thought it'll just turn itself off. The thing is, I even thought about trying it. I mean, there is a mic on the top of the camera, but it doesn't sound very good. It's alright for talking, but it doesn't really work for hearing the guitar. So, can't bother going over it again. So, this is... I had this up at Scott's a couple of weeks ago with that's how long it took me to get through these guitars. Although this one wasn't in a rush, to be fair. With another super telly, super telly, innit? Yeah. Humbuckers, a Chapman one. So this is a Charvel Pro Mod San Dimas style 2HH Joe Duplanter signature. I memorised that. Didn't just read it on the internet. I looked up. So he's the guy from Gojira, who I don't even know who Gojira are. I don't think that's not the band Chapman's in. They've got a name something similar to that. Maybe it is. No, I would imagine they'd probably use Chapman guitars. Yeah, so we've got like, I suppose I could probably read the spec out. You probably know what it is if you're going to look it up anyway. It's got like I think that's a roasted maple neck. Kind of bare wood. You can totally feel the grain in your hands, which some people love. No, I would rather it was, I kind of want to take fine sandpaper to it. Not going, it's not my guitar. If it was, I possibly would. So this one's tuned to drop C. I was always I've been a bit nasty, but not nasty, but never been much of a fan of the lock and tuners thing. I don't think they really do anything to stop your guitar getting out of tune. But it's much quicker to change the strings. I'll give it that. Especially if you're trying to change a string, like you're going dangerous doing a gig with only one guitar, and you snap a string. It's like you're going to be able to do that in 30 seconds, a minute. You're going to be able to change one string, which is a big thing. And it just was much quicker after the day I had it. Just basically. Today I kind of got up early and I was like, I didn't get up early. I managed to get started to work at 10 o'clock and I was thinking, right, got a simple guitar to wire, just change a pickup, simple. Do that before lunch. Rocking, then I'll edit a video, then I'll get on to the guitars I should be doing. Yeah, so that was 5 o'clock and still not, it's just everything is just thrown at me. So there's a couple of videos. This is my third video today. The first one is me just ranting about the guitar. I pure hate it. I didn't take my own advice. My own advice to people who are having a terrible time is just give up and come back tomorrow. But I want that one done so I can get rid of it. Everything seems to be going wrong. And then today, basically, I've not actually hurt myself. I'll obviously stab myself with a screwdriver or something later on just to make it up. Yes, so this guitar has been upgraded. I was looking at it there. I said in the last video, which you can't see because the audio is terrible. I might put it up there anyway, if you really want to hear me talk more about it. I was playing Symptom of the Universe, and I'm not going to do that this time. That was about a 20-minute video. This one's only going to be 10. Maybe it'll be a members only one. It's like members only for videos where I'm pure. I either think it's too offensive to go on YouTube normally, or something's wrong with it. Yeah. Yeah, so this one has a Nazgul and a Sentient pickup in it, I think. I'm sure Tegan will comment in the bottom if I got it wrong. I just don't know that that's what's in my 8 string, and I'm sure it was the same ones. Or at least one of them's a Nazgul and a Sentient, and the other one might be something else. So this has been upgraded to proper Seymour Duncans, not Duncan designed, which is what comes in the guitar originally. So I said in the last video, the one that you can't see because the mic wasn't on, me and Scott were thinking this was, we kind of overpriced it. Figured it was an £800-900 guitar. It's kind of like a £500-600 guitar, but with the Seymour Duncans in it, it probably is. What are Seymour Duncans? Are probably £150 for the two. Something. Buying them new, maybe a bit more than that. Something like that. That kind of price anyway. So it kind of does put it up to kind of the lower end of what we were thinking it was worth. I do like the guitar a lot though. It actually reminds me, there's a Washburn that looks very similar to this from my pal. Beans has got one. Basically binding 2 humbuckers, and it's a Telecaster, and so hence very similar to this. This is obviously it'll have a normal neck. It won't have this flame maple. It's got a wee bit of a Scoopy dupe there, and the back as well. I'm not sure the one in the back, is it? I mean, it's a styling thing, isn't it? This scoop. I don't think your hand. Maybe it does. Doesn't hinder you. So I'm going to play this in drop C, which I can't play in drop C. Just have a bit of an argy-bargy with it. And obviously not clean, because I'll go for the rat first. So there's two ways I've got to play in drop C. One, entirely ignore the bottom flappy string. Just pretend it's not there and play the other strings. Therefore I can play it quite alright. And the other way is to just play on the bottom two strings and just go. I can sort of feel how you get. If it's a rhythm thing, it's not. I mean, I always think it's a wee bit cheating. You know, it's like for people who don't want to bother learning to play like a power chord, you can just do this. And obviously, you could play all of Sabbath on this. What would Paranoid be? All one finger Sabbath stuff, but a bit more to it than that. It's just sort of playing there. You can kind of put funnier rhythms in. And after the last 2 months I've had since I swapped my pedal board back, got the Rat pedal back, I put in a reverb, a chorus, and a delay pedal, and I haven't turned any of them on really in weeks. So I swapped out the chorus pedal back to my twin note Pi fuzz pedal, which for me kind of sounds a bit like a sort of Sabbath pedal, which will probably work quite well with this. It's a bit more. First, I don't know how you play lead guitar for that. I don't know how you play the rhythm guitar for that either. But especially don't know how to play the lead. I think I'm dead bluesy. I don't really want to be, but. Yeah, it's actually quite good to get some of my angst out, my pent up aggression for a bit of yeah, no, I do rate this guitar. It's very nice. I think this one has been set up at some point. It's a 2017 model, ISC 17. So I think that this one put up against the Chapman, which I had up at Scott's house. I've still got it through there. It's going and just going to normal tuning. This seemed a much better guitar, much better. I think they're both kind of at the same price, but I think maybe the Chapman was kind of at the same price, but it came with the pickups, with the Seymour Duncans. Whereas I think this is £150 less or £150 more with by the time you've added in the pickups. Or maybe you get £50 for the old pickup, maybe £100 more. But it seemed like a much better guitar. But I think this one's been set up because I don't think the Chapman has, so it's not really a fair testament to it. So likes, it's a Telecaster, white, black binding, rocking. Love the Seymour Duncans. I especially love the switch tip, which as you can see there is kind of like a sort of, it's a really cool shape. It means nothing, but I like it's all in the details. Locking tuners, I wasn't that, but actually, yeah, I'd leave them on. So that's quite interesting. It's got 2 string trees. It's got 2 string trees for 3 strings. So the B string actually goes. It's got 2 string trees. Yeah, don't know why. But there you go. It just does that. I suppose a minus would be I would rather have I'd rather have a white glossy neck rather than the bare wood. It's a signature model, so it's been thing made. It does. It's got like this. It's quite. It's got like a strap contour on the top there, so it's not. But it doesn't have the belly contour. Interesting. It's also got an extra scoop there. Yeah. Yes. So, but mostly positive. When the fretwork's on, it's great. It's got massive frets. It's got a nice ebony fingerboard. I assume it's ebony. It kind of looks like it, whatever it is. Very dark wood. I am a bit considerate to have no fret markings on the front for anyone else who's unfortunate enough to be playing in a band with me. It's always handy to have the frets, not for me, not for playing, because dots on the end, yeah, you need them so you can see them. That's what you can see, unless you're playing like Freddie Mercury, where you kind of. But to be fair to him, he was playing at Live Aid. He's playing like one of those Ovation bowbacks, and they don't sit like that; they sit like this. So he's kind of flicking it, but you can obviously looking at the fingerboard because they've got a round back. So no matter what you do with it, it just wants to be sitting like that. But I'm just thinking for anyone else in the band, if you're just having a jam, especially if it's one you don't really know what you're doing, you're kind of making it up, it's often very handy for the bass player or another guitarist to look over and go like that, Pierre, oh, I can see you're kind of playing about that spot and that spot, the ones that aren't on this. You're probably in A or D, so you get an idea of where roughly you should be, whereas when you don't have the dots on the front, it's like, Pierre, there you go. What note's that? And it's like, I don't know, whereas if you had the dots, you'd be like, Pierre, oh, bang, what knows that? Oh, that's you're alright, you're in kind of D because there's a dot on it, whereas if it's not there, it's like, it's not quite as easy. But that's what maybe, I can't remember what the guy's name was, the guy from Gojira, really hates the rest of the people in the band, so it's like up here, yeah, you're not knowing what notes I'm playing. And saying that, this is tuned to C, which would just make it a little bit confusing as well, tuned to D with a drop C. Yeah, so camper van episode coming tomorrow, hopefully, if I can work out some time to do it. Like fucking that guitar. I've got another couple of guitars to do as well. I don't want to swap the channel with holiday videos. some historical stuff in there as well. My guitar channel, yeah. And I've got tons of guitars, so many. Anyway, so it's now 5:30. This is you're not. This will be late. Rock on. Catch you later.